What's up, guys? This is Blake McLean here with another, well, tutorial video. I haven't done this in a very long time. There isn't really any good UDIM tutorials out there, and a lot of people do struggle with this. So what I'm going to be showing you guys today is how to install the UDIM tools and how to use them, and how to do all the UDIM stuff inside of Giants Editor. So I have a text document right here that has the links to the Blender exporter you're going to need to export your model to Giants Editor, and the UDIM plugin you're going to need for Blender. So I'm going to leave those in the file. There will be a link to a file with the text document along with some other files we're going to need in the description. So what we're going to do is, to start off with, I'm going to show you guys where you can install the files for the UDIM tools. So what we're going to do is, we're going to start off, we're going to open up a new file, and you're going to want to go to wherever to your hard drive that you have your operating system on, I believe. I guess that's how that works for everybody. I don't know. That's how it works for me. So the way I'm going to show you is going to be different from the way some people will tell you, and the way that I'm showing you is the only way I know how to do it, and the only way I've been able to help people do it. So what we're going to do is go into here, so you find your program files and stuff like that. You want to find users, then you want to go to your whatever user you're using. Mine just says user, so we'll double click on that. Now what yours is probably going to look like, I'll show you real quick. You probably will not see anything that says app data, and we want to be able to see that. So what we're going to do is click up here on view, and then find a checkbox. Mine is right here that says hidden items. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and now you can see the app data file. So to find what we need for Blender, we're going to go into roaming, and you're going to find Blender Foundation. Now this is the part where we go ahead to install the plugin. So what we're going to do is double click on Blender. I run 2.79 because that's the only Blender version I know to work with this. I know there's newer versions, and I don't know if you can do all of what I'm going to show you with them, but what I'm going to show you is going to be in 2.79, so I recommend downloading that version if you're going to do this. So we're going to go ahead and click on 2.79, go to scripts, add-ons, and then in here we have all the files. Now what we're going to do is, this is the file that you'll probably be downloading. It has all this in it. So basically what we want to do is just make sure you have this in here, and it should work. And if that doesn't work, I'm not sure because I haven't done this in a long time. What you're going to do is just drag these out into the add-ins. I don't know if that's how you do it. If just dragging this in here doesn't work, then I don't know what will. And yeah, if having this in here doesn't, then try dragging it out. Then if that doesn't work, I don't know. So now we have that installed. What we're gonna do is you're gonna want to enable the plugin. So what you do is just open up Blender, let it load. Uh, so you can go to File, uh, find User Preferences, then go to Add-ons right here. It's going to be under User since you installed it yourself, and it's going to say Game Engine Material Selector for Farming Simulator 19. You can see that. And basically you just want to make sure this box is checked, and once you check it, go ahead and click Save User Settings. Then you can close out of this and close Blender and restart it, and it should work. So we're going to be doing, I'm going to show you guys just as an example. This is a hitch-mounted salt spreader I built for some of my trucks because plowing season is coming up. So what I'm going to show you guys, I have my pieces separated by material. That is the way you should do it. That's the way I do it. That's the best organized way. For each object, you should only have one material. And the way to tell if there's only one material, this will be the only one in here. There won't be, for example, just another one with a different name. If there is, you want to make sure that it's all the same color that you want, and then you can just make sure this is the only one. It obviously name it whatever it is. Don't name it red plastic spreader. That's just what mine is named because that's what this object is. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this. What I'm gonna show you guys today. So we're gonna start with the first piece. It is, I have all my stuff organized and named, so it makes it easier to work on. So to start, what we're gonna do is you find this and you drag this that way. Now what you want to do is you want to come over to this side, and you should see this little box here. It should have a cube on it for you. You're going to want to set that to UV/image editor. That's what we need. Now we're going to go ahead and start with the UV mapping and everything so that UDIM works, because if you don't do that then it won't. So what we're going to want to do is go into edit mode. One way you can do it is you can come down here to where it says object mode. You can click on that, and then you can go to edit mode, and it'll all be there. But the easier way to do it is just go to object mode and then push tab on your keyboard. Now everything may be highlighted already, but you shouldn't trust that. You want to make sure absolutely everything is highlighted. So go ahead and push A so everything is deselected. Then push A again, and you just do that a couple times and then wait till you have it highlighted, just so you have absolutely everything selected and there's not any faces or anything left out. So now what you're going to do, I already have it UV unwrapped and ready to go, but I'm going to show you guys what you need to do because yours is going to look different. You either won't have this here at all. This is basically all this mapped out here, or it'll be messy or like just a white square. I don't know what yours is going to look like. But to go ahead and make a new one, what you're going to do is move your mouse over to the 3D view. And to move around in here, you really do need a mouse. So you hold down your mouse wheel and you move around to, I guess, just look around. And then to like actually move like this, what you do is you hold down shift on your keyboard and then push down the mouse wheel button, and that drags you around. So that's how you move around basically. Yours will probably look less zoomed in, but I always have mine like that because I model things and it makes it easier to model. But to do that, you push 5 on the numpad and you can look at it like me if you really want to. That really does not matter at all. That's just the way I do it because I modeled this by hand. So what we're going to do to make a new UV map, so you get everything highlighted, then you press U on your keyboard and you want to find where it says Smart UV Project. So you'll click on that, and this will be here by default. You don't want to click on anything. You don't want to click off or click OK yet. What you want to do is where it says island margin, this should be set to 0.03. And the easiest way to set it to that is there's a little arrow here, and you can just click on that and it'll set it there automatically. Then what you can do is there's a checkbox right here. You uncheck that. It says correct aspect. I always uncheck it. I don't know what it does. I also don't really know what the island margin does, but this is the way I've always done it, and it works good. So once you do that, you can go ahead and click OK. Let it do its thing. Now, yours probably won't do it as fast as mine did. It really depends on how good your computer is and how high detail the part is. So it'll take some time depending on what you're trying to put there. So now that we have our new one here, what we're going to do is there's a little plus up here in the new window. You want to drag that out. Now you want to find material selector. And if you did all that with installing the plugin, this should pop up and you did it right. So you go to material selector. I set everything to where it says selectable colors up here. I set everything to color-0. I think that is the way to do it. A lot of people might tell you different. They might tell you click on some of these, or I don't know what they'll tell you, or a different color. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. Well, it does in Giants because it'll correspond with a different place you need to mess with. But easiest way to do it, just click color 0, and what that does is it moves it down, and that's on the UDIM grid, I guess. So once you push color 0 after you have your new UV map and it goes down, that's what you want for each piece. So I do that for absolutely everything. So then what you're going to do is you grab your next piece, edit mode, do the highlight thing I showed you before, push U, Smart UV project, and once you did it before on that first piece, it should be all set up and ready for you to just click OK. Now when you open another Blender file and you go to do this, these won't be here, so you got to remember, always make sure this is set up for you. And then once you set it up once in whatever file you're working on, uh, it'll work the entirety of the time you have the file open. But if you close it and then you open it again, you're going to have to do it again. That's just how it works. So you go ahead and click OK. And it did it quick for us because this is pretty low poly. I mean, it's decent detail, but it's low poly because I optimized it a good bit. So now that you got that, you click color 0 again. It sets it down there. Now we can drag this back in, and we can drag this off to the side a little more, and we can go back into edit mode, or object mode rather, because we were just in edit mode. So now we have each material and object. Now what you're going to want to do is for the red one, honestly, I'm going to show you the way I do it. Some people do it differently, but I find this is the easiest way to do it because it gives you less problems later down the road. Now, for this, so you find the material, and to get to that tab, you'll probably be on the camera one. You want to look for this one. You can scroll up and down there if your screen's a little smaller, but you find that one. And this should pop up and you have your material. If not, you can make one. Blah, blah, blah. So then what we're going to do is for diffuse color, basically we want it to be like a really weird, like unique color so it doesn't conflict with any other colors that you may do the same, but you want them to be different so they're not conjoined together. Basically in Giants, say I have two black pieces with different materials. Now if I export them as the same color and then I put them, I put one piece together and UDIM it, then I do the next piece with a different material but the same color and everything, they'll join together, and that just causes problems. It's easier to have everything separate. So we click on the diffuse here. We just set it to some random wacky color. It doesn't matter. I'm going to set mine to like a bright green. I don't know. It just, you can pick literally whatever color you want. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the black piece. You do this with every individual piece you export. So now we have all these set, ready to go. They're all unwrapped, everything. So what we can do is go ahead and file, export, Giants i3D. We want to find the file. Mine is going to be in here somewhere. Right there. So you export it there, click export. And again, with the whole time thing, depending on how complex the part is and how good your computer is, that depends on how long it will take to export. This is a pretty easy part. It doesn't have like a lot of detail, or it does, but it's optimized, I guess. So it doesn't take long for me. So now once you have your i3D, you want to go ahead and open it up. You might not see this. It depends on how many versions of Giants Editor you have. So we're going to open it at 8.2.0 because that's for FS19. Anything with a 7 or a 6 or lesser numbers, that's for older versions of Farming Simulator. So alright, now we have this. This is from Blender. Actually, I want to show you guys something important. I don't have to worry about it because I already did it. But when you have pieces in here like this, before you export them, it is smart that you go to the wrench icon right here, click add modifier, and then edge split right there, and then click apply. And basically that makes it so if you ever have issues where you export something and it looks weird and like smooth and like the edges don't look sharp or flat or whatever like this, then yeah, that's why you need to do that. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and make a new transform group just because this is one piece, and so that's the way I do it. For each piece I put them in a transform group. If it's a salt spreader, if it's a vehicle, you put all these pieces in one transform group. That way you can move them around as one basically with the transform group. So we'll go ahead and name this salt spreader. Don't want that extra one. Now, for some people this is going to be different because I've seen so many different things. I don't know what how it's going to work. I don't know what it's going to be like for you guys. So I always like to get some light in here. So I push Control L. I do it 3 times, and we get some light in here. Uh, you can't really see it yet because of the way mine is set up. I don't know how to change it. But so we click on this black metal spreader. Now you may have an extra box up here that says rigid body, and you do not want that. If you do have that, you want to come down here and deselect this box that says rigid body. If you have that selected, when you go in game, your truck will be stuck in the ground or whatever you're working on, and it'll lag. So we don't want that. Next, after you got rid of that, or if you didn't have it at all, go over to this that says shape, and you want to do cast shadow map and receive shadow map. Now this is another thing. I've seen some people when they export things, these two are automatically selected. For me, it's not. So you always want to check just to make sure, because you want your objects to have shadows. It'd look kind of weird if they didn't. Now we're going to go to, so I'm going to show you guys a gloss map or a specular map. You want to get this material editing tab, what you're going to do is go up to window and find material editing and click on that, and it'll pop up down here or somewhere on your screen. So we're going to go ahead and apply a gloss map or a spec map. So to do that, you click on those 3 dots, then you can click on these 3 dots. Then we want to go to wherever you exported your i3D. That should be where your textures are as well. It makes your life so much easier. You don't have issues with missing textures later down the road. Trust me, a lot of people have issues and they wonder why. You won't have these 2 files in here. I'll tell you why, because these are custom spec maps. I made them myself. You don't have to do that. I just do it because it makes stuff look better. That's a whole different type of video. You have to pay for the program and everything. So we're going to go into textures, and you're going to want to pick Gen Where Dirt 2, which will be this. These 2 files are going to be included in the link I put in the description. So we're going to go ahead, and you want to apply this one. And as you can see, that adds like some spots. That's going to be where your dirt or where will be, depending on what you're doing, you know. And you go down here. You don't have to do this, but I choose to do it because it adds depth to your dirt, kind of. So normal map, you click here, you find this inside that same file you got this from. So you double click on that, close it. You don't see it now, but when you add dirt, you can definitely see the difference. Now, sometimes if you're trying to apply a normal map, I will find that sometimes, I never have this issue, but when I'm working on other people's stuff, sometimes I do, because I guess the way their exporter is, everybody's is different. Now, it'll give you an error that says like error no tangent or something along those lines. You'll see the word tangent in it. And what you want to do is go over to shape, find where it says tangents, and make sure that box is checked. I don't know what it does. I have no clue like how it works or what it does. That's what I do to fix that problem. So now we want to add our shader, which you click on this down here. And to get the shader box, you click on that little arrow. Now you want to go back to the hitch spreader, and you find this file, or not hitch spreader, but whatever file you're working inside of. You need one file that you're working inside of where everything is. That makes your life easier, and you don't have to worry about missing textures and stuff like that. And then you want to find vehicle shader.xml. You can click on that. There you go. Now you got dirt and where. Now what we're going to do right now is we're going to turn that off so we can see the object better. And in order to do that, there will be this section that says RDT, and there's 2 numbers here. They're both 1s. You can't go above 1, I don't think. So basically, you won't get rid of your dirt and where. What you do is you just set this number is for where. The first one is for where. So you set that to 0. Your where disappears. Then for this number, this is your dirt number. You set that to 0, and your dirt goes away. You can obviously set it to like 0.5 and stuff, and it'll give you less dirt. You can play with that. I don't know why you would do that, but I wouldn't. But anyway, now once you've done that, you can go ahead where it says variation. There's a drop-down menu. You click on that. It'll say none. You want to look around and find color mask. So you click on color mask. And then now you have these 3 numbers. Now you remember in Blender when we set, I'll show you, when we did over here, you drag this out, when we set color -0, that corresponds with the lines we want to mess with in here. Now, to change the color of this, we want it to be black. So what I do for like black metal is you grab this 0.003, 0.003, 0.003, and now I want to point out something very important. So what I'm going to show you guys is this fourth box with it'll probably have a 1 in it. Now what you want to do, I'm going to explain to you, this box determines what your texture of the object looks like. Now I'm going to show you some different ones. So like for my black metal, I use 0. That gives it a shiny look to it, kind of. Okay, if you want kind of a plasticky feel, which it'll defaultly be set to 1. You can do that. I don't use that for my plastic. For my plastic, I set the number to 12. Okay. Now, for if you want really shiny chrome, you can set it to 2, which will look different. If you want chrome, you set these numbers all to 1, and you get, chrome look. If you want it really shiny, you set that number to 2, and if you want it less shiny, you can set it to 3. I put 3 on everything I build, but anyway, that's besides the point. We're getting off track. So we want that 0 for black metal, and then everything back to 0.003. There we go. Now we got that black shiny looking metal right there. That's what we want. Next, we take this red plastic spreader piece, and we do basically the same thing we did with this, but it's going to be a little different. So go to shape again. Cast, receive, make sure tangents is turned on so you don't have that issue with the normal map like some people do. Then what we want to do is go back to gloss map, click on that, and then you want to go back into your textures folder. You want to find this file again. That's your spec map, the green one, the big green one, not like that little green one. You want the big green one. Now you got, it didn't apply for some reason. There we go. Yeah, so now you got it. Then you want to do the normal map again, which is in here. Same process as the last piece, basically. So I'm going to speed through this a little quicker. You go back, you find your shader. Set these two numbers to 0, to get rid of your dirt and wear. Set the variation to color mask. That allows you to change the color. And then we want this to be red. So to change it to red, what I'm going to do, each one of these numbers set for a different color. The first one is red, the second one is green, and the third one is blue. I'll show you if we go ahead and we set this one to 1, or we can make it a little darker. That's red. You can make it a little darker by setting it to like 0.2 or 0.1, or you can mess with that a little bit and get the right shade that you want. So then we set that back to 0, and then you can set this one, that's green. You can go darker green too, so like 0.1 or 0.025. It's just whatever. You play with it until you're happy. And then this one is, we'll set that back to 0. And then obviously for like flat black like that, you set it to 000. And then white is 111. But then for blue, you put 1 in there. That's bright blue, bright as you're getting. You can set that down obviously to like 0.1 or 0.025. It doesn't. Again, you gotta mess with it, and then you can get different shades of colors by like mixing the numbers up. Like 1 and 1 makes. It's basic. You should understand mixing colors by now. I'm gonna stop explaining because I'm going on. This video is gonna be very long. We don't want that. So, I want my salt spreader, this piece to be red. I don't want it to be this red, so I'll make it like 0.45, maybe even a little darker, maybe 25. That's better. I like that color better for that. And now you can see we successfully UDIM'd it. Now this is a plastic piece, so I just left it at 1, but like I could make it, again, you can set it whatever color you want. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each, as you change the numbers here, you can mess around with it yourself, and it'll change it to a different look or texture or whatever, as long as your UDIM is set up right. But that number does that. So we're just going to leave it at 1. Now, we're done with this. We're pretty much done with the video too. This salt spreader at the moment, it is actually, you can get this on my 2002 GMC Sierra 3500 dually that is out on Mod Network. I released it publicly. I'm back to doing public mods. So you guys can go get this off of that truck if you really want it. So anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Please drop any questions you have in the comments, any suggestions for other tutorials in the comments. I would like to start doing more tutorial-based videos since I haven't done that in a long time, and there are unfortunately not a lot of good ones out for FS19. So I'm going to stop going on. I will see you guys later. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like on the video if this helped you out, and I'll see you guys later.